Hello everyone, welcome to another updated Lunalight Tearlament deck profile. This is another first play deck profile that got me a Crystal Beast playmat. It unfortunately, as you know, here in Brazil, stuff usually gets late, so I don't have the playmat with me right now. Anyways, it is updated for DABL format, Darkening Blast. It has branded in High Spirits. I will show some of the combos later because I was seeing it was being used wrongly in the YCS. If you guys saw the 3v3 that happened a few weekends ago, a guy played my old list card for card and actually won the event. So I'm very happy that the lists in these channels are actually going through the world and having results. And I won't say this list is going to have the same impact, and I'll go on a bit of why I think that later. But without any further ado, let's get into the deck profile and I'll talk a bit about how I feel about it throughout. Anyways, for the Tearlaments, we played pretty much the same package with 3 Rhino, 3 Sharon, 3 Havens, and 3 Merly. This is now the order you want to send them to graveyard now to fuse, by the way. Before it would kind of be inversed. You kind of want to leave Sharon on field longest and send Merly, then Havens, and then Sharon. However, with the new Sprite cards print, you actually want to send Merly last if you're playing actually the new Link 2 to fuse with it, because it's just not a resource you have. This is the namers I've been using. It hasn't been wrong. It hasn't done me wrong yet, and I think for the Lunalight build, this is probably gonna be how it stays for a long time. Anyways, for the spell and traps of Tearlaments, we played, of course, 3 field spell, and for the new cards, we played 1 Heartbeat, 1 Scream, 1 Celiac, and 1 Crime. These two, the new cards actually allow us to end on both Celiac and Crime. And that solves a lot of the problems with the Lunalight build we had before, because we had no good way of dealing with evenly matched. We actually have 2 new ways of dealing with in this build, and I'll go through them later, but one of them is Crime, and that's very, very nice for the build. And then for the Lunalight package, it hasn't changed at all. It's still one of each of the good monsters you want to play. 1 Serenade Dance and 2 Perfume. These 2, again, I think I've said this in my other profiles, these 2 can be cut, especially right now because we have so many more engines we want to fit into the deck. We have the Bisteds, we have the branded stuff. So if you guys want to cut something to experiment with other engines, you can cut these. However, I still wanted the full package because I was finding it very hard to actually get through the full combo with the new branded stuff. So having the full package, having these 2 actually help you a lot to get to that end goal. And then for the branded High Spirits engine, we're playing, of course, 3 High Spirits, 1 Cartesia, and 1 Albion. I'll show later how the basic combo works, but having High Spirits, you basically get Nib Protection plus a draw in either Barone or Tushinoko and a Dark Reptile to make Curious a lot easier, because when you're playing this package, it actually becomes very, very awkward to make Curious, and having this play actually helps you a lot. Anyways, and for generic stuff that helps with the deck, we have 3 Foolish, we have 1 Zephyrus and 1 Sting the Cloak. Like, these cards just help you play and they get you access to both engines. Sting the Cloak hasn't been performing that well, but I think it's a good card that you need to experiment with. 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Terraforming. This doesn't need a lot of explanation, it's pretty standard. Call by the Grave, I feel it's going to be less useful from now on. It doesn't hit the stuff that you want to hit, which is the Bisted. However, it still has some uses, especially when going first. 1 Tushinoko, you actually search this. This is basically an energy requirement, but it's actually perfectly fine to draw. And of course, 1 Anti-Spell Fragrance, which is the whole point you want to play this deck. If you're playing this deck, it's because you want to end on this, and it's because you're doing a meta call that ending on this is better than doing anything else internally right now. Because this is not going to be the most consistent version of Tearlament. It's probably not going to be the best version of Tearlaments. If you're playing this, it's because you're meta calling that anti-spell is going to win you the tournament, basically. And it basically did it for me this time, like the other times. For the extra deck, it is pretty much the same except for the High Spirit stuff. So we're playing, of course, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Dark, 1 Curious, 1 Apollo, 1 Griffin, and 1 Goddess. This hasn't changed. This is pretty much the Link package we were playing before. And I think it's still pretty good, and it wouldn't change any card in here. Then we played 1 Dweller and 1 King of the Pharaoh Imps. These cards are very, very good. Dweller, of course, for the mirror is insane, and King of the Pharaoh Imps is part of our combo now. and I've been very much liking this because it facilitates you getting to your careers so much. I played in the tournament, won Baron on the floor, because you can make it very easy with the high spirit stuff. However, I don't own a Baron. It was lent to me by my friend Marcelo. But if you don't own it and you want a cheaper option, you can play Sprite Elf, for more protection and some more different plays you can do. However, if you're going this route, you might as well just change a little bit of the main deck as well. You can play some higher investment stuff like Cyberstein for Exterio, and that becomes a very, very good end board as well. Or just play more consistency stuff if you want. That's pretty much a flex spot. For the fusions, we played the same things we were playing before. These are pretty good with the new addition of Luka Kovac. All of these cycle into one another, so you never run out of fusions. Luka Kovac is very, very good. Like this card, you cannot overstate how much it is essential to the deck right now. And that was for the main deck and extra deck. For the side deck, I decided to play one card for time. I hate that we have to do this, but we kind of have to. This is a deck that goes into time a lot, so you better have a plan for it. 3 Twin Twisters, 1 Harpies for the Register. The Gamma package, this is for the mirror. Droplet, this is for the mirror. And Nibiru just was for random rogue matchups and stuff you want to deal with that. You know that just seeing Nibiru auto wins you the game, so you might as well just put it in. Finals was actually against an Ignister Mathmech player, so this actually won me a game that ultimately won me the match. We ended up tying in time, but my tiebreakers were just so much more better than his that I think even if I had lost, I would have still won the tournament. And yeah, that's it. I'll come back with the combos in a second. So, for this combo, and this combo is pretty basic. Like, if you know what Branded High Spirits does for Tearlaments, you probably already know this combo. However, as I said, I've seen people in deck profiles from the YCS where they don't know this combo, and this is very, very alarming to me. So I might as well just show it off. First thing, it's good to know that this is a quick play. So you can do this combo during your opponent's turn, during your turn, and you can do it on your draw phase, on your standby phase if you want to play around stuff. You can also change it to Shifter, so you can still get a fusion off even with Shifter, and that can get your Crime, which maybe allow you to play through Shifter and kind of keep in the game. So it's a very good combo. Anyways, you want to start off with Branded High Spirits. You're going to send Lower Carls, and you're going to send Merly from your hand, and you're going to add Cartesia. You're then going to use Merly effect. You're going to shuffle, and you're going to make Kit. With Kit, unless you already have access to it, you're going to be wanting to add to your hand Reinhardt. This is going to come up in a second, and then you're going to go main phase 1, normal summon Cartesia, use Kit Kala's effect, and then change the effect of Cartesia to fusion summon, because this has an effect of fusion summon. You are then going to send both to the graveyard, you're going to bring back the Lukas you just shuffled back, and then Kit is going to resolve, and you're going to summon back a Rhino. You can now go Chainlink 1 Rhino, Chainlink the Kit Kalas. I'm going to assume I'm not going to mill anything, so I'm just going to send a Havnis to graveyard, and I'm going to use the effect of Havnis to fuse. This is then going to bring you Garura, which can draw you a card. From this point on, if you're just playing the standard version, not the Lunalight version, you can go into Baron using these two and draw a card, which is very, very good. And if you have any other extender, you can then just make another fusion. In this version, however, you have a few lines. It'll depend on your hand. Like this deck doesn't have a set combo, it all depends on your hand. But for example, right here, you can go for King of the Pharaoh Imps. You then are going to add the Tushinoku to your hand. And because you milled 5 cards and you have other cards in your hand, you're probably going to have some extender. You ideally want to have an access to a part of the Lunalight package right now. Either a spell and trap in the graveyard, or Tiger in hand, or Chick, or whatever part you need. If you have Perfume, that's great because you just have a free special with an ad. And that's great. So right now, you're probably going to go for Cross Sheep. And you're going to get a draw. You're going to summon Tushinoku, and you're going to get another monster back from your graveyard. You can go, like, at the worst, you probably can go just a Palooza here. And if you went for a Palooza here, it means you probably have some spell and trap or something you want to play. And yeah, that's the basic combo I wanted to show off. The deck is very fun. And Yeah, my thoughts on it is this is not the best version of Tearlament right now. 100% I can say that. For Darkwing Blast, we have so many new engines, so many new ways of playing the deck that I don't think we're going to have time to solve the format, because we're going to have Magnificent Mavens coming out very soon, and that's going to change the deck completely. I want to say that by the time that comes out, Lunalight builds of Tearlaments are going to be completely irrelevant. They're just too slow, they're just too inconsistent, they just can't play through enough interruptions from the opponent that you played that I don't think they're going to be worth it. However, I still want to get this out to you guys, even though there's no events that you're probably going to realistically be able to bring this. It's still a fun deck, it's still stuff you can play on Dueling Book, it's still on stuff you can try on EDO Pro, and maybe you have a remote duel tournament or locals you want to bring this to, and I would highly recommend, because it's a very fun deck. It makes you think to play, it makes you interact with your opponent in funny ways, so yeah, that's my thought on the deck. It's a fun deck, I don't think it's competitive. I'm very happy I got a result of the deck before it completely dies off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll hope to see you guys in my next video, and I'll bring you guys more deck profiles for Tearlaments and Mech Knights. Goodbye.